Urvashi Agarwal, the host of the webinar. Welcome all of you at this online platform. As we know that Vasudev Memorial Degree College is organizing second webinar of the webinar series on the topic Impact of COVID-19 on Indian Economy. I welcome our respected Director Manager Sir, A.S. Mishra Sir, our respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. Hemlata Bora Ma'am, our Honorable Invited Resource Person, Dr. Pavnesh Kumar, Dean School of Commerce and Management Sciences, Gandhi, Central University, Motihari Bihar, my faculty, and all participants. Again, again, all of you are most welcome at this webinar. Now, I would like to take opportunity to tell something about the college. Vasudev Memorial Girls Degree College is situated in Lucknow. It is pioneer. Uh, it is pioneer. Please stop. Please stop your audio, please. Vasudev Memorial Society Lucknow was established in 2005 with the aim to serve society, and since then this society is involved in various social and educational activities, likewise giving education to girls, financial support to poor children for education, giving shelter and food to deprived persons, and also providing financial support to poor girls for their marriage. This society was founded in the loving memory of late Pandit Vasudev Prasad Mishra, who worked hard and helped the poor and needy persons throughout his life. It was his dream to establish an educational institution, especially for girls. To the unfurnished task, Vasudev Memorial Girls Degree College, Lucknow, was established in the year 2005 by Dr. Karna Shankar Mishra in the fond memory of his father, late Sri Vasudev Prasad Mishra, with the main object of providing quality education to girls. The main objective of this college is all-round development of the girls. This college in BA, BSc, BCom and BEd courses. This college is associated with University of Lucknow and runs as per the rules and regulations of the Lucknow University. The college has good infrastructure and qualified faculty. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our respected principal ma'am to come and to say few words about the college as well as webinar.
Good evening,
Please.
honorable chief guest and all participants. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the college webinar. On behalf of I, Dr. Himrata Bora, Principal Basudev Memorial Girls Degree College, I wish to you welcome you here today participate in our webinar. I'm so happy to see you together here. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor and keynote speaker, Professor Pavnesh Kumar, Dean, School of Commerce and Management Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi Central University, Motihari, Bihar. We are indeed grateful for your gracious presence. I feel grateful to welcome our manager, Sir, Dr. Karuna Shankar Mishra ji, who is great guidance for the college. I would also like to participants who constantly support us. Let me welcome our dear teachers who take constant effort and dear students who are all set to make this event a remarkable one. This online national webinar on the very relevant topic, impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. I hope you will are fit and fine. And dear participants, we know that due to Corona pandemic, the whole country has locked down itself. The country is struggling with lack of education and knowledge. Most of the colleges of the country have started webinars. You must take advantage of this opportunity. I started this channel. Now it is easy to make connection with you all. Now, this connection is not limited to the one webinar. This webinar series session will be available for all. We hope that you can gather the best of knowledge and experience for most of you. This might be the first time that you are away from home. You might face problems trying to adjust to the new environment. So I thank you all of your presence and time. You are welcome to our program. I hope you will enjoy the program. I hope the webinar will be great and successful. So many things are waiting for us. So let's start. Thank you so much. Over to Rushima.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Somebody is very, very disturbing in this by putting on mic on. Please switch off your mic. Please switch off your mic. किसी का माइक ओपन है जो बहुत डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है इसमें
Dr. Zabir, Dr. Zabir.
डॉक्टर जावेद निजामपुरी प्लीज म्यूट thank you so much, ma'am, for such kind words. Now, I would like to invite our guest speaker for addressing the webinar. But before, I would like to take opportunity to introduce our respected resource person. Today, Professor Pavresh Kumar is present among us to enrich and knowledge and about Indian economy amidst COVID-19. Sir is Dean of Commerce and Management Sciences at Mahatma Gandhi Central University in Motihari, Bihar. He has a specialization in international business and finance. Sir has a vast experience of teaching various subjects like international financial management, invest banking and financial services, bank lending and credit appraisal, etc. Sir has contributed to corporate life of the university by various mediums. Sir has life membership of Indian Accounting Association, All Indian Association for Educational Research, Indian Commerce Association, etc. There is a list of publications. 14 books have been published by Sir, 20 papers in referred peer-reviewed journals, 7 research papers in edited and peer-reviewed conferences. Sir has attended a number of invited talks in various events. Sir has actively participated in seminars, symposia, workshops, and conferences. Sir has received various awards, fellowship, and distinctions by various institutions and by various uh, institutions of education. Now I request Sir to address the webinar and to enlighten us on the topic. Welcome, Sir.
Thank you so much, Ms. Urvashi Agrawal. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible perfectly, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank the host of this webinar, the anchor of this webinar, Ms. Urvashi Agrawal. I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate and thank the Vasudev Memorial Degree College, Girls Degree College, for taking such a nice initiative on conducting a national webinar on a contemporary and relevant topic. First of all, it is a contemporary and relevant topic. So I would like to congratulate and thank Dr. K.S. Mishra, Chairman of the college, Dr. Hemlata Bora, Principal, the organizers of this webinar, Mr. Madhav Prasad Verma and Ms. Urvashi Agrawal. They are the organizers. So I would like to thank and congratulate. And I am indebted for calling me as a keynote speaker in this webinar, and especially because it is held in Lucknow. I belong to Lucknow. It is a happy moment for me also. So I will be giving some insights on what will be the impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy, so that all of you can understand what will be the future of Indian economy. What are the challenges? I will be concentrating on the challenges and what are the different opportunities which Indian economy have in the years to come, in the times to come. So first of all, I would like to share some of the facts. Am I audible, ma'am? Please confirm it so that I can continue.
Yes, sir. You are perfectly audible, sir.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to share one thing, that this COVID-19, which is also known as Corona, because it is the novel coronavirus, this has been largely disruptive to Indian economy, largely disruptive in the financial year 2019 and 20, because the World Bank and the different credit rating agencies have downgraded India's growth for the fiscal year deficit 2021, and it is the lowest since 1990. 1990 के बाद, you might be knowing that the India has adopted LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization in 1990, and it is almost 30 years now. And these 30 years, this will be the lowest, you can say, the growth, GDP growth rate, which will be, as per the IMF, International Monetary Fund projections, it is 1.9%. But you should be happy, you should be proud that it will be the highest among G20 nations. Among G20 nations, 1.9% GDP growth rate will be highest as far as India is concerned. Next, the chief economic advisor to the government of India has said that we should be prepared, mentally prepared for the negative growth rate also. We must be mentally prepared for that. As far as the unemployment is concerned, it was 1.26% in April, which has increased from 6.7% in on 15th March. So there is a, you can say, there is a you can say exponential growth rate in the unemployment. And I would like to share one data with all of you, that 14 crore people, 14 crore people have lost their employment during this lockdown. It is a huge number, 14 crore. And during the lockdown of the first 21 days, India has lost 32,000 crore rupees, 32,000 crore rupees per day. So it is a huge loss to the Indian economy. The Indian economy has been turbulent, not turbulent from the last 1-2 years, and this corona crisis has added fuel in that. So these are the certain figures which I have shared with you. And recently the government of India has come with one package, financial package, which is known as Atmanirbhar Bharat package. And the main objective of the Atmanirbhar Bharat package is to boost the Indian economy, and especially the medium and small enterprises sector, and also the rural sector, because you might be knowing that the people who are losing, there is a trend of reverse migration now. Reverse migration means those who have gone to the urban areas for employment, they are coming back to the rural areas, and the government is now concentrating on the rural areas. It wants to create job opportunities in the rural areas so that these people who are coming back to their villages, they may survive. Now there are certain challenges. Now I'm coming to my topic. These figures I have shared. What are the economic challenges which Indian economy will face? The first challenge which Indian economy is going to face is increase in demand. How to increase the demand in economy? Because we have been seeing the decrease in demand, and this decrease in demand is due to the loss in the purchasing power, and number two, the unemployment. These are the two reasons: loss of decrease in the purchasing power and the unemployment, increase in the employment. It has affected in the decrease in the demand. The first challenge which the Indian government is facing is how to increase the demand in the economy. The second challenge which the Indian economy will face is reverse migration. Reverse migration means what to do with the people, laborers. They might be skilled, semi-skilled or unskilled laborers who are coming back to the rural areas. So there is a big challenge for the government to accommodate them, to equip them with the certain skills, to equip with them with a certain, you can say, packages, so that they can survive in the rural areas. The second challenge is reverse migration. Third challenge which the Indian economy will face, that there will be shortage of labor in the urban areas. Why there will be shortage of labor in the urban areas? You know that most of the cities where the industries are located, they are in the urban areas. I would like to share one fact with all of you, that there are more than 6 lakh villages in India, and there are 3,000 cities in India, 3,000. And till date, after independence, these 3,000 cities has been become the lands of the development. हम जिसको कहते हैं कि आज तक जो भारत का विकास का मॉडल रहा है, उसमें हमारा जो डेवलपमेंट मॉडल है, it has been concentrated mostly on the urban area, and the rural area has been ignored. Whether we consider the first industrial policy, second industrial policy, but they have ignored the agriculture sector, they have ignored the villages. So this is the biggest problem. Third problem is the shortage of labor in the industries which are located in the cities. The fourth problem which the economy will face will be of foreign exchange reserve. Foreign exchange reserve. Why foreign exchange reserve? Because there will be shortage, there will be decrease in the tourism in India. Not only in India, it will be faced across the world. If tourists are not coming, then this is but natural that there will be loss of foreign exchange reserve. And if the foreign exchange of India is going to lose foreign exchange reserve, it will have an impact on the Indian rupees. Indian rupees will become more, you can say, it will devalue, the value of the rupees will decrease because of the loss in the foreign exchange reserve. This is the fourth challenge. The fifth challenge is that there may be the impact on the balance of payment. तो मैं एक चीज यहाँ पे बताना चाहता हूँ, अगर मैं आंकड़ों की बात करूँ, डेटा की बात करूँ, इंडिया नॉर्मली 19 की बात करता हूँ, $500 बिलियन का एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट करता है और लगभग $300 बिलियन का एक्सपोर्ट करता है. तो देयर इज अ डेफिसिट ऑफ $200 बिलियन. ये जो डेफिसिट है बिटवीन द एक्सपोर्ट एंड इंपोर्ट, जिसको हम बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड कहते हैं, इट विल इंक्रीज इन फ्यूचर. ये इंक्रीज होने वाला है आने वाले समय में. नेक्स्ट मेन चैलेंज इज द चैलेंज ऑफ FDI, फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट. हम लोग ये देखेंगे कि आने वाले समय में द मेक इन इंडिया, friends, you might be knowing that there was a flagship program of the NDA government one, that was Make in India, and Make in India was basically concentrated on the assembly of goods. जो मेक इन इंडिया, जो पहला जो मोदी सरकार आई थी, एनडीए गवर्नमेंट जो आई थी, जो मेक इन इंडिया कॉन्सेप्ट लेके, उसमें हमको बहुत ज्यादा सफलता नहीं मिली है. उसमें ज्यादातर जो है, जो कंपनीज लगी हैं इंडिया में, वो असेंबली का काम कर रही हैं. लेकिन ये पॉजिटिव हमारे लिए है कि हम लोग आज की डेट में मोबाइल्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, इन सभी प्रोडक्ट्स को बनाने में आत्मनिर्भर बने हैं धीरे धीरे. तो अब आत्मनिर्भर भारत पैकेज may be considered as Make in India 2, because it will concentrate on the MSME sector and it will concentrate on the rural sector, जिसमें हम बात कर रहे हैं. Because in the Atmanirbhar package is of 20 lakh crore, more than 20 lakh crore rupees, and out of this 20 lakh crore rupees, 3 lakh crore has been allocated to the MSME sector and 3.10 lakh crore rupees has been allocated to the agriculture sector. So major chunk of the Atmanirbhar Bharat package has been allocated to the rural sector and the MSME sector. One most important data I want to share with all of you, that MSME sector accounts for 45% of the employment in India, 45%, and it accounts for near about 46% of the exports. So this should be the focal point, spot point of making Indian economic policies, and which the government is doing. So these are the some challenges. The challenges which I have discussed that Indian economy will face is increase in demand. Number 2 is reverse migration. Number 3 is the shortage of labor in the industries which is located in the urban areas. Fourth one is the foreign exchange reserve problem. Fifth one is the problem of you can say balance of payment. And next one is the problem of FDI, because there will be less FDI in days to come, in years to come. Now I will discuss about the opportunities. These are all the problems which I have discussed. Now I will discuss about the opportunities. Number 1 opportunity right now with the Indian government is that it can concentrate on the agriculture sector, which accounts for 65 to 70% of the population, Indian population. So it can concentrate the policies, industrial policies, or the economic policies, especially designed for the agriculture sector. And this agriculture, now it is the right time that this agriculture sector should be considered as industry now, and this farmer should be considered as entrepreneurs. Because who are the entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs are those who basically they combine the land, labor, machine, etc. in order to produce, and the farmers are also doing that. So there should be easy credit policy for the farmers. So number one is the opportunities are in the agriculture sector. Number two, number two opportunity is that I would like to appreciate the UP government, the Uttar Pradesh government, because it has come with an innovative idea of one district, one product. And this model should be replicated all over India now. This is the high time, because once one product, if it's concentrated in one district, we know that it is an hub and spoke model. And whenever we concentrate for one product, one district, the nearby villages to the district headquarters, they grow. So this model should, this is an opportunity that this model should be replicated all over India now. Number third is skill upgradation. The next opportunity with the government is that the government can continue for skill upgradation. Friends, I want to share one very important thing, because most of the senior people are listening me, that there are two type of people who basically leave their villages. One by choice and another by compulsion. Those who have high degrees like PhD, BTech, MBA, they move from the villages by choice. And there are many people, you can say people who they leave villages in compulsion. We need to retain these people who leave the villages by compulsion. How we can retain? The Skill India movement now should be given momentum, and their skills should be upgraded in the village itself. ITI and polytechnics should be upgraded. They should be strengthened. The fund should be fusioned in them. The fund should be allocated, proper funds to be fund should be allocated to them, so that these guys who basically leave their villages by compulsion, not by choice, they may do some entrepreneurial activity in their own villages itself. Number fourth is that there is an opportunity for India to make itself as a manufacturing hub. Right now, China accounts for 70% of the manufacturing all over the world. What India can do? India can go for special economic zones, which there are special economic zones in India, but it has not been successful till date. So special economic zones, certain tax relaxations should be given. Next, the labor law should be liberalized. The working hours should be relaxed. The policy should be pro-industry, pro-labor, pro-industry too. There should be trade-off between the pro-labor and pro-industry policies. So we can become the manufacturing hub. Right now, red tapeism and bureaucracy is the biggest hurdle in making India as a manufacturing hub. It should be simplified. The processes should be simplified. Next, the main opportunity of Indian economy is that India has a big market. Not big market. India has a market of labor. India has a market of demand. So this should be encashed, and our population demography should not be liability. It should be treated as an opportunity. We are the youngest nation in the world. We account for 65 to right now in 2020, when I am delivering my lecture, the 65% of the Indian population is below 35 years of the age. So this young population should be upgraded. This population should be exploited. This population should be given chance to innovate. This population should be given opportunity of good health infrastructure, education, etc., so that India can become the, you can say, Sone ki chidiya, which we consider before independence, before the Britishers who came in India. Next, biggest opportunity for Indian economy is in the cooperative sector. There is one model which I would like to share here, is that of Amul. Amul is the successful cooperative model in India, and this model has been successful only in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka. But you can say the eastern part of India, like Bihar, UP, Odisha, West Bengal, the cooperative movement has failed. Cooperative movement should be strengthened right now India adopted the cooperative movement in 1904. Now it is more than 125 years, 115 years. Sorry. Now there is a big opportunity in the cooperative sector. Another opportunity for the Indian government is in organic farming. Organic farming, you better know, friends, that there is one state in India, Sikkim, which is known as the organic hub of India. Organic hub means that Sikkim is 100% organic food producing state. So this model, organic farming, should be strengthened. Government should concentrate on this. And most important thing is that even the India is the largest producer of milk after Denmark. Even though we are compelled to take the, you can say, जो हम कहते हैं मिलावटी जो दूध है वो हम लेने के लिए आज की डेट में मजबूर हैं, ठीक है, मिक्स्ड जो मिल्क है. So there is a big opportunity in that. So these cooperative firms, the cooperative movement should be strengthened now. Next one is the opportunity is in the Gram Swaraj model of Mahatma Gandhi. Because I am from Champaran, I would like to concentrate on this, and I am happy to share that this government is adopting the Gram Swaraj model of Mahatma Gandhi in another way, like by taking the steps of Atmanirbhar Bharat package. So this Gram Swaraj model should be adopted so that we can become the role model for other countries also. Now I would like to share some data about the Atmanirbhar Bharat package. Atmanirbhar Bharat means Atmanirbhar, self-reliant, not only in the agriculture sector, not only in the industrial sector, but also in the service sector. There are three different parts in economy: agriculture, manufacturing, and service. If we want to become Atmanirbhar, we have to be Atmanirbhar in these sectors. Okay, so in which areas now we are Atmanirbhar? We are Atmanirbhar in textile sector. We are Atmanirbhar in wheat sector, wheat and rice. Now in wheat, we don't have to import. You friends know that before 1967, when the Green Revolution took place, we have to import wheat from abroad. Now we are in a position to export the wheat. Now we have attained the self-reliance in the wheat, in textile sector, and soon we will achieve the self-reliance in the, जिसको हम बोलते हैं दलहन सेक्टर, पल्सेस सेक्टर. पल्स में भी इंडिया आत्मनिर्भर होने जा रहा है. ओनली 2 लाख टन की कमी है जिसको हम जल्द अचीव करने वाले हैं, और हम इस सेक्टर में भी आत्मनिर्भर बनने वाले हैं. इट मींस दैट इंडिया इज आत्मनिर्भर इन ऑल दिस एरियाज. और जो ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा था आज की, इससे पहले 1990 से जब ग्लोबलाइजेशन आया तो ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा था. अब जरूरी है भारत के लिए ब्रेन गेन करना. जो हमारी जो टैलेंट जो बाहर चली गई थी, अब ये समय है कि हम उस टैलेंट को एक अपॉर्चुनिटी देखकर, इकोनॉमिक क्लाइमेट को क्रिएट करके, पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी देखकर, सोशल इन्वायरमेंट को सही करके उन लोगों को वापस बुलाएं इंडिया में, ताकि वो कंट्रीब्यूट कर सके इंडियन इकोनॉमी में. फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ पे एक चीज मैं और डिस्कस करना चाहता हूं. जो स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द इंडियन इकोनॉमी है वो स्ट्रेंथ है स्किल्ड लेबर. आज की डेट में इस स्किल्ड लेबर को एक्सपोर्ट कर सकता है इंडिया, क्योंकि आपको मालूम है कि इटली कंट्री है, वो सबसे ज्यादा क्यों कोविड में प्रॉब्लम हुआ उसको, क्योंकि वहां की पॉपुलेशन में सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन है ओल्ड एज का. आज की डेट में हम पोजीशन में हैं कि अपनी यूथ पॉपुलेशन को ट्रेन करके बाहर भी भेज सकते हैं. ये इंडिया के लिए फॉरेन एक्सचेंज अर्न करने का एक बहुत बड़ा तरीका हो सकता है. Okay, so these are the certain points which I have discussed, and I would like to end my topic, my lecture, with one quotation, which that is, when the going gets tough, tough gets going. इसका मतलब है कि ये जो नोवेल कोरोना वायरस है जिसको कोविड-19 कह रहे हैं फ्रेंड्स, इसका अभी वैक्सीन आने में बहुत समय है. ये खत्म होने वाला नहीं है. जैसे हम HIV एड्स के साथ रह रहे हैं, जैसे हम और सभी वायरसेस के साथ रह रहे हैं, उन वायरसेस के साथ रहने की जैसे हमको आदत है, उसी तरीके से हमको कोरोना के साथ भी रहने की आदत डालनी पड़ेगी. मतलब सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, मास्क, सैनिटाइजर जिसको हम कहते हैं, इन 3 चीजों का MSD जिसको मैं बोलूंगा, इसका यूज करके हम कोरोना क्राइसिस से फाइट कर सकते हैं। एंड जिसको हम कहते हैं, हम यहाँ पे क्योंकि गर्ल्स का कॉलेज है, हम लोग अपने स्कूल डेज में गाते भी थे कि हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, हो मन में है विश्वास। तो ये जो गाना है मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग को प्रेरणा देगा, और जो इकोनॉमिक चैलेंजेस हैं इसको हम अपने सोशल फैब्रिक को अच्छा करके सोसाइटी को जागरूक, क्योंकि कोई किसी भी देश का जो विकास है फ्रेंड्स वो सरकार नहीं कर सकती है, उसके लिए समाज को आगे आना पड़ता है। जैसे जापान में आपने देखा कि सबसे कम कोरोना क्राइसिस के पेशेंट्स मिले। उसका कारण है कि वहां की डिसिप्लिन्ड पॉपुलेशन, वो हमेशा मास्क यूज करते हैं, सैनिटाइजर को यूज करते हैं, उनके कल्चर का पार्ट हो गया है। तो हमें भी अपने कल्चर का पार्ट बनाना पड़ेगा। और मुझे लगता है कि मैंने अपनी बातों को यहाँ पे रख दिया है। अगर कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं तो आई एम रेडी टू आंसर दोज क्वेश्चंस। थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू।
Participants, if you have any questions or queries, you may ask by unmuting yourself, please.
हेलो सर।
जी, अपना परिचय दे दें, मैं फिर उसके बाद बताऊंगा। जी
सर, माय नेम इज आदर्श VS. I am pursuing my masters in economics under Kerala University. So I would like to ask you is that under the current financial stimulus package proposed by the central government, how speedy will our economic recovery be?
See, wait 1 minute. Someone is calling me. 1 minute. What is your question? What will be the timing when the Indian economy will come on track? Is this your question?
How speedy will our economic recovery be?
See, none of the economists in the world can predict right now. This is the honest answer which I can give. None of the economists can predict, because we don't know what will be the future. As far as the China is concerned, आपने चाइना को देखा कि चाइना ने एक बार लॉकडाउन ओपन किया और फिर से लॉकडाउन लगाया उसने अपने एक शहर में। ठीक है, आज हमारा लॉकडाउन आपको मालूम है 8 तारीख है, जब हम लोग का सेमिनार हो रहा है। लॉकडाउन जो है अभी ओपन हुआ है फिर से, अभी 1 को हुआ था, अभी भी हुआ है। तो हम इसको कोई भी प्रिडिक्शन नहीं कर सकते हैं। मैं कुछ सेक्टर्स की बात कर सकता हूँ जिसमें एक लॉन्ग टर्म रिकवरी है। उसमें से एक सेक्टर हमारा है और वो है टूरिज्म सेक्टर। इतना जल्दी हम कह सकते हैं कि ट्रैक पे आने वाला नहीं है। ठीक है, कुछ ऐसे सेक्टर्स हैं जो ट्रैक, जैसे अगर हम कहें कि नए स्टार्टअप्स, एजुकेशन, जिसपे हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं आज की डेट में, ये जो सेक्टर है, सेक्टर वाइज बात कर सकते हैं। ये सेक्टर आने वाले टाइम में बूम करेगा। जैसे ऑनलाइन स्टोर्स और ऑफलाइन स्टोर, आज की डेट में अमेजन से भी खरीदते हैं, फ्लिपकार्ट से भी खरीदते हैं, और उसके साथ साथ अपने घर के बगल में जो दुकान है उससे भी खरीदते हैं। तो आने वाले समय में जो मैं वासुदेव मेमोरियल गर्ल्स डिग्री कॉलेज को बधाई देता हूं कि इन्होंने इसको अडॉप्ट कर लिया है। आने वाले समय में ये पार्ट एंड पार्शल हो जाएगा, और जो एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी की जो कंपनीज हैं इनके में बूम आएगा आने वाले टाइम में, ये 100% है। तो सेक्टर वाइज हम कह सकते हैं कुछ सेक्टर्स की लॉन्ग टर्म रिकवरी होगी और कुछ सेक्टर्स में बहुत स्पीडी ग्रोथ होगी। लेकिन इंडियन इकोनॉमी की ग्रोथ, मैं अभी आपसे मैंने जो डेटा शेयर किया था कि G20 कंट्रीज में इंडियन जो इकोनॉमी है उसका 1.9% जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट प्रेडिक्ट किया गया, लेकिन वो सबसे अधिक है। ये हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है। ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, ये IMF कह रहा है, इंडियन मॉनेटरी फंड। जी, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन।
Okay, sir.
Any other query? Next question. Whoever wants to, please unmute yourself. Rest, please put your mic off. If someone asks questions, the answer will be delivered by a resource person. So please put on your query if you have any. Okay. Looks like there is no query. So, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such enlightening and informative session on the current topic. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request our principal ma'am to come and to deliver a vote of thanks. So, please, ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you, Rishi ma'am. Economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in India. The economic impact of the 2020 coronavirus pandemic in India has been largely disruptive. India's growth in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 2020 went down to 3.1% according to Ministry of Statistics. The chief economic advisor of the government of India said that this drop is mainly due to the coronavirus pandemic effect on the Indian economy. Notably, India had also been witnessing a pre-pandemic slowdown. But now, today in the period of COVID-19 pandemic, there is induced market instability and lockdown, and because of this, we are facing many outcomes. For example, sharp rise in unemployment, stress on supply chains, decrease in government income, collapse of the tourism industry, collapse of the hospitality industry, reduced consumer activity, and plunge in fuel consumption, rise in LPG sales. But still, we are continuously trying to get over from this pandemic. Finally, at the end of session, distinguished and most valued guest, it my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of this esteemed institution for accepting our institution, taking his precious time out and gracing the occasion with his presence. I extend our sincere thanks to Sir, and we are indeed lucky to get your support. So thank you so much, Sir. We look forward to same in future also. Secondly, I want to thank our respected manager, Sir, for giving his constant as well as the complete creative freedom. I also want to thank our respected teachers, without whom we are incomplete. They support us in many ways unimaginable, not only helping us with the ideas, but also with the execution of those ideas and giving us their necessary moral support. Behind every successful program lie the manifold attempts of our committed organizers, Madhav sir and Urushi ma'am. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the immense contribution of our dedicated organizers. And finally, in the end, thank you all the participants who worked really hard for this program, and thank you all for making this program a huge success. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe. Over to Urushi ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I think the program is coming to wind up. So, if you permit,
Okay, ma'am.
so the program should be wind up. So, okay, all the very thanks to our all participants. Please join us in the next webinar of our series. So, please. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, our respected resource person, sir, Professor Avnesh Kumar sir, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, and all the participants. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.